Welcome back to Mountain Outpost coverage of the 2025 Hardrock Endurance Run. I am Corinne Chalvoy, and this is...
Hey, how you doing? I'm Maël Backhausen. Lovely to be here.
Yes, and we are continuing our pre-race interviews. We're 2 days away from the start of this year's event, and we are joined right now by Germain. I'm not going to pronounce it.
That's good.
Grangier. Germain.
If each of one can get one of
half
the name,
of it, we're good.
Yeah.
We're golden. Thank you for being here, Germain.
Thanks for having me. Yeah,
Thanks for joining us. We're very excited for your Hardrock. How are you feeling? Are you excited to race?
Yeah, I feel good. This place is really calm. It's peaceful. So I think it's everything I need. Yeah.
Everything you need. Awesome. So, Germain, I noticed 2023 was a really big year for you, right? You were second at UTMB Mont Blanc, and then you were
third.
No.
Yeah, I was third. Yeah.
No, and then you were second at Grangier.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah.
Okay, but those were only like a month apart.
Kind of, yeah.
About that, that seems like a massive double. I'm curious, having been on the course here at Hardrock, how did those races and those courses compare to Hardrock? And are you thinking of them as very kind of different events?
Yeah, I feel like UTMB is really different because I think like every runner really knows well the route. So you kind of need to run a plan at UTMB, and if it doesn't really work, you just work around that. And here, as you don't get the opportunity to come back a lot, you don't really know exactly your plan.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to adapt more and be closer to your current feeling, and that's maybe more like what ultra running looks like back in the days. So like it's more about adapting and less about like running a plan perfectly. So I think it's a less modern version of trail running coming here.
Okay.
Because of this like remote places, a lot of uncertainties around the race, long time between its stations, so that's kind of cool. It like leaves more space for mistakes and adaptations.
Okay. Yeah, like it's back to like it's like the roots of trail running culture and kind of what the sport is all about. You feel like is that accurate?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. You have less buzzing around the event, less like coverage in every corner of the race, and it's also feels super nice to have that kind of races part of the trail running landscape, so you can have all of different types of racing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Germain, we just had a little chat before. You were explaining how the mountains and the area around here is so hard to compare to the Alps and so different to the Alps. Like, can you just help us understand from your experience being out here, like what's it like to be here? How does it differ from the areas that you are so used to training in and so used to racing in?
Yeah, I would say first the main difference is the accessible elevation on foot, I would say. It's not higher than the Alps, but the terrain at higher elevation is easier. So if you want to be at the same elevation in the Alps, you're going to end up way above tree line on super technical terrain, like almost scrambling or just like on a rockfall or on a glacier. So you need a lot of gear and you need different skills and you're moving slow. Here you have like easy terrain up high, so you're with your pair of sneakers and you need to run because you're on a dirt road at like 4,000 meters. So that's the main difference, I would say. And for me, that was the main difference, to know how to move at those elevation running, because if I'm at home at those elevation, I cannot run.
Yeah.
So that was a big shift for me.
Yeah, I think I saw when you guys had first arrived a video you took of you running just on a road and were having trouble breathing. How has that acclimation been? And are you feeling more comfortable now? How long have you been here in the area?
Yeah, so I think we landed in the US mid-May, and we stayed 10 days in Leadville. I think that's when I posted that video.
Yeah. Oh, that was in Leadville. Well, you were at 10-2. That's pretty high.
Yeah, that was a bit high. And the first day were a bit complex for me, but then I learned to be patient and step by step things tuned up. And it's definitely different. You have to take all the data and the beliefs you have at home, and you put them on the side, and you build a new thing with new feelings, new training loads, new way to hit, new way to feel your run and hydrate, and it's super interesting. I take it like a big experience, taking notes to see how I respond to that stress, and that's super interesting.
Have you learned anything that you plan to implement on race day that's different from maybe how you would fuel or pace, an effort not at altitude?
Yeah, I mean the pace is obviously slower.
Yeah.
For like same kind of run. Might need to hit more and in different forms, more solid probably when I'm lower, more like liquid when I'm higher. I'm drinking more. Mm-hmm. So sodium shift, a lot of things. Yeah, I think everything is different.
Everything's different.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, Germain, there's a number of guys in the field this year that everyone is predicting will start fast and probably, maybe be grouped together and be leading the race in the early stages. You've got the Frenchmen that are all out there flying the French flag. You've got Captain America out there as well, who Zach quite well. And so, and I think the interesting thing is none of you have ever run the course in this direction or run this race. So you're all going to be venturing into the unknown, but probably very close together as a bit of a contingent. Do you what's your plan around doing it together or running your own race? And have any of you spoken about these early stages and the race in that context?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. You have Ludo that has been here the last 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
He really, really knows the race.
Mm-hmm.
If you cut him, he bleeds Hardrock, so he really, really knows.
Yeah.
And Zach knows super well the race because he basically comes every summer here. Mm-hmm. And then I would say Matthew and I are more like the rookie, just okay, we're gonna follow you. I think this race is, we always tend to do that in ultra running, but maybe more for Hardrock, it's more race against the route, more against the course, because there's so many external factors like altitude that kind of shift our perception of pacing. So I don't really know who's gonna start out fast and what's how the strategy, but I feel until Ure it's a bit more like a buffer race, I would say. So we'll see how it unfolds, and if we gonna speak French for a long time or not, or if we're gonna be all spread out in the mountains.
You might just make Zach so mad because he can't understand you that it just leaves.
Yeah, I almost bought him a small lesson book,
Nice.
How to speak French in 10 bullet points. But I don't know.
That's awesome. So kind of along those lines, do you have any specific goals for yourself for this event? Whether they're time-based or placement, are you running just, kind of with any goals that you want to share in mind?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, like I had a great 2023 year, but 2024 was really at the opposite of 2023.
Okay.
So yeah, I had some problems in my legs, a bit weird. So my first goal is to finish the race. Then if I can run properly after 13 hour, 14 hour, I would be extremely happy. And then from that, yeah, we can imagine other things. But
Awesome.
that's my process, I guess.
Awesome. We learned from your partner that you are a junior national champion in the accordion. I think this is something many might not know about you. Do you still play the accordion? And how did you get into playing the accordion when you were younger?
Yeah, I still play.
You still play?
Yeah,
are you going to just show up to the start line and give us a little tune before the race?
Yeah, the thing with the accordion is that it's a really fragile instrument and really heavy.
Yeah.
So I can't I'm not traveling with it. That's the thing. But and it's hard to find. Here I found a guitar, like the husband of Katie's sister has a guitar, so he lent me his guitar for 2 months.
Okay.
So that was cool.
Nice.
But yeah, actually, I don't know. I was watching TV and it's kind of really a French instrument, and I told my parents, I don't know, I think I was 8 years old. I told them I want to play that, and they said, no, why don't you play the piano or the guitar? And I said, no, I want to play that thing.
Wow.
So they had a lot of trouble to find a school, because this instrument is kind of dying, and it's really like part of the French culture. So they found it, and then ended up playing that.
Wow. Being a national champion in France is it's like, I imagine it's a pretty big thing. Like, that's a great accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, for accordion, it's extremely niche. You picture that we were not a lot.
Well, one might say trail running is also kind of neat.
Yeah,
but you're still rising to the highest level of it, which is, I think,
would say
probably
it was niche then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was cool. And then at some point we had a band, so we were like playing the 5 accordion. My sister were playing the piano, and another friend was the drummer. So we would just
got a full band.
Yeah, we were just. That's actually the part I miss about that, because it's extremely cool to play with other people, and everyone was playing a different part, and we were playing a lot of like classic music, like Vivaldi, stuff like that. Then that was
nice. Are there any accordion artists that people should know about if they're going to try to listen to the instrument? Are there any inspirations that you have?
I think the one I like the most, and I would say the most modern one, is Jan Tiersen. It's really a French guy.
Okay.
And yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to check it out.
Germain, like, what is the French connection to Hardrock? Like, in France, how do they speak about this race? And when did you first hear about it and first, get excited to even want to try and do this event?
Yeah, I think that race relates more to the French audience, because it's something they can project. It's closer to what we say. It's closer to the Alps landscape. It's closer to what we are used to, like it's 100 mile with like 10,000 meter of elevation. So that's something that people can project, and they understand better the landscape. When they talk about Western, it's something really different, like more like desert style, like a race with a lot of running. So that's why I think there is a big French connection. And I got interesting with that race. I must say, when I follow each year of Hardrock, and the year where Kilian dislocated his shoulder, I think I was more interesting in that race, because I already followed him, and that was really funny to follow, actually, with his shoulder. And that's where I found out about that race, and the elevation, and not a lot of people, the remote areas, and I think that's where the kind of attract for that race began for me.
And how about what do you, you've got a big crew out here helping you out. Like, who have you got in your crew, and what's your plan with pacing and breaking down the race in that regard?
Yeah, I will have like only Americans with me, so I need to be extremely lucid to understand what they say to me, and I hope they won't like use too much slang. So I told them keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of Americans with me, and I actually like working with not French people. It's something that I changed maybe 3 or 4 years ago, to have like another mindset, another way to approach things, and kind of bring my more EU and French side into the mix. And I think I'm breaking the race more like into just arrive fresh in Ure and then see what happens from here. And we're gonna have great weather, so I think we were all a bit concerned with the thunder thing, and it seems like it's not gonna happen. So that's a good point.
Yeah. Good weather, probably minimal snow this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the snow where we need to have snow, when it's
just
the
snow where you want
fields,
it. Yeah, where you can slide down the scree fields. Exactly. Perfect.
What are you most like? Is there a part of the race that you're most looking forward to or most excited about?
Yeah, I think the last part of the race suits me better, but it's obviously the last part of the race, so you never know how you're gonna show up at that time of the day, and that's a part I like. So I tend to try to arrive fresh here to enjoy it. Yeah.
But at the closer to the end of actually not closer to the end of the race, but sometimes in these long races and these really challenging races, it gets really tough and can be really dark. You can what do you do to help yourself switch from that darker or harder moments to a more positive, or how do you get through hard times in these races?
Yeah, I guess it's something that you work on not the last few days or few weeks, but like a month ahead the race, just try to find and that's also why we came earlier, because I feel like I need to build like my connection with the place, to first understand how those mountain works, like the mines thing, like the water, can I get water, how the storms arrive, how they leave, how like dry it is, and all of that just like came into the mix and make me like build this like race attraction. And then you find out what are your keywords. My keywords won't be the same for UTMB and for Hardrock, because it's not the same race, it's not the same dynamic, it's not the same field. We have a good field, but it's still super limited. So I guess you need to find what like resonate in you and practice those words and what they develop,
Are they words that you will plan ahead of time, like a mantra, or words you'll repeat, or will they come to you during the race, do you think?
I have a few like pre-made words, like not a lot. I try to keep it simple, because when you're not lucid, you're not
the simpler the better.
You just want to have 2 or 3.
Okay.
And then from those 2 or 3, they refers to things and to actions.
Nice.
But you should be really open to take whatever comes to you during race day. If it's a smile or someone cheering up, if it's like a sunset, like a marmot or whatever, you just like try to find those little positive thing in everything. Even if it's not super positive, you always try to find the blue corner.
Yeah, the blue corner. Nice. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I love that.
I guess just the last question is kind of, for me at least, is there something you anticipate to be the biggest challenge here? This course, this race has a lot of different aspects, but is there anything in particular you think will be the most challenging thing?
Yeah, I think the most challenging thing is to just be able to always ask myself if I'm in my race, in my plan, in my pace, in my feeding, and then allow me like some time where I can go outside of that and just play in, because it's not fun to always like be locked in your small box. That's why we race. We want to go outside of the box sometimes. So yeah, it's all about stepping outside, getting back inside when things are getting a bit too crazy, and find that fine line where you can play with. Yeah,
makes sense. Awesome.
Well, Germain, mate, welcome to the 2025 Hardrock, and have a great time. I can't wait to find out what those words were when you get to arrive back here and kiss the rock, which I really hope you do, and I hope everything about this experience is what you hope for. And yeah, man, just have a great time. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Best of luck.
Cool.
Have a great day.
Appreciate it.